Okay, it's September the 27th. It's quarter to 10 p.m. And here I am again with the moon hologram orb cluster nucleus, and I got that the cross X formation light beams, and like I said previously, one more across the middle, that'll be a full-blown star, because our sun has 6 of those beams, and they're like petals on a flower, but what they're actually are energy beams. And I've done a video on the aura of our sun. That's the name of it, the title, and I think everyone should check that out, because that was a while ago, maybe a few years ago, but I did a study of the energy waves and radiation energy output and the aura that the sun, or our sun, makes when examined in that fashion. So I think you'll find it most interesting, because it really reveals how the sun creates energy and what it looks like once it is created, and how it expands out in different waves from the rays themselves and from the nucleus that make those rays. And I'm talking about these rays right here. That's like an X, and then another one right through the middle, because our sun has 6 of those rays coming out of it. You need to check that out, because this X is not a good sign for us, being that one more line right through the middle, and that thing is a star, and this is no joke. So last night I did a video showing the hologram in serious jumping stages. It was just all over the place, shooting even off the screen many times. It was shaking, going up and down, back and forth, definitely in reverse and forward jumps, and I mean huge jumps. And every time I got close to it to examine this new formation, actually not a new formation, but a formation that got even larger on the bottom of the moon down here. I'll just move this over so I can show where. Maybe it's there tonight. It only is visible once in a while. Yeah, it's still there, but it doesn't look the same as last night. There's a lot of big orbs there, and yeah, just a whole lot of orbs, and a lot of big orbs right down here on the bottom. I'm going to examine them first tonight, but what I was going to try to lock this in place. It's not going to stay right there. Okay. It's really jumping again tonight. Let's just see. It jumps, and then I'll get to the bottom. of things after. But right now, But last night the moon hologram was doing incredible jumps, incredible. I was shocked. I actually at one point had to chase it with the camera all over the place. I couldn't get a hold of it. That's how many jumps it was taking, and it didn't want me to see certain things on the surface of the hologram. Actually, this thing has no surface, but on the outskirts of it. So there's that big orb from last night. There's two of them last night. There was 5 right there on top in a big cluster. Wow. Okay, you see the size of these things? They're huge. Okay, those like orbs right there, they're like a couple 100 miles in diameter each, and they're clusters as well. They're like a cluster within a cluster nucleus, and look, there's more of them being swarmed by the smaller orbs. Look at this one over here. Wow, you see that jump? Just went right off the screen. But this is nothing next to last night. Last night was so bad. I actually, I'm not kidding, I had to really take the camera and chase the thing around the sky. It was moving around so much and jumping all over the place. I just couldn't get a hold of it at one point. And finally, I gave up after about an hour because I just wasn't getting anywhere. But right now, I'm more concerned with what's on the bottom, because I want to see if I can see the same things that I saw last night, because that was the same structure that I had taken a photo once before, which showed the eye that's on the dollar bill. You know, the all-seeing eye there. I don't know why this thing, it's really bright tonight, even there at the edge. Normally it's not that bright, but tonight it's really bright. Okay, so besides that other structure last night, which looked like a pyramid, but it was all made out of orbs, it was green. There were other structures like squares and rectangles, and you could actually see them, and you could see the red zones like in lines that marked them and marked the power going out to these. And inside of these rectangles and squares were just like orbs, and it looked like they were marking different clusters. And I don't know what was the purpose of that. The whole thing was some sort of a structure, but I don't know what kind of a structure it is. It's in a pyramidal shape, but it's all made out of orbs, like they're stacked up on top of each other in the form of a pyramid. But it's going to be very interesting. I'm exporting that thing right now, so we'll see how that comes out. That's going to take all night just to export, and then I have to make a video because it's in 1920p by 1080p. This is video archive type camera footage, and then I have to turn it into MP4 to get it to be computer ready video when I make a movie. But the video camera takes really super high definition footage, It's the clearest you can make out of just the camera, at least available to me. I'm sure NASA or somebody like that's watching space all the time must have better cameras and lenses than I do, but at least I know what to do with them and how to use them. And I've discovered many things, I've learned a lot, and I'm proud of that fact. I'm not ashamed of it. People have called me all kinds of things, but they were wrong. These are the facts, and this is just the way things are, and we better, face the facts and accept them. Otherwise, it's not going to be very good for us if we just ignore it, because these things aren't going to ignore us, and they're not ignoring us. Okay? Because there's no way that all these orbs here are going to ignore you. They come in all sizes, they're everywhere, they're on Earth, they're up in space, they make the stars, they make the moon, they make everything. They make matter, they make living matter, they make energy, cosmic energy, any type of energy we use. We think we're making all of this? Well, guess what? That's not the case. Okay, we may be making electricity, but that doesn't mean anything, because these things come and use it for free. And look at how intense that light is on the moon. Hologram there in the nucleus, and just how much more energy and the intensity of the energy that it has lately. And this is a problem, because that's a lot of heat close to the Earth, and that heat is transferred through space, and it's contributing to global warming for sure, because it's radiation. There's that thing, now it's in a different shape, and I'm not moving the camera. That's I told you that. The moon hologram is just jumping all over, because it doesn't want me to really see that part. Okay, so I don't know exactly what that is, but it's a structure. And last night it looked different. It was a different form of a structure. So they changed it, night by night into different formations. Okay, these are all very large orbs, and a lot of different smaller orbs creating clusters within the nucleus of the moon hologram itself. And there's a lot of them. And the whole thing is made out of orbs of all different sizes, and it doesn't stay still, because it's being pushed around by the orbs on the outside of the cluster, trying to get into the nucleus to get charged up. And this red part here is it's like a permeable membrane, but it's a force field, and it's a selective force field which lets in orbs from the outside in to the nucleus to be charged only when the ones in the nucleus are charged and released, and then there is more room for the ones on the outside, and the ones on the outside are all of these guys. Okay, and You can see them right there. There's there's a whole lot of them in that big cluster, and there's the, see how it keeps jumping, and I can't seem to get it to show that part. I'm going to loosen the camera. I'm going to back up. I don't know, it jumped so far that now I can't find it. Okay, there it is. It took a big jump that time. I'm going to have to hold the camera on it with my hand and just follow it. So there's going to be some movement. A big part of it is going to be the moon hologram moving itself. Partly it's going to be me, because I'm going to have to sort of judge where it's going to move and make sure I'm there with the camera. Okay, so I'm not at full zoom power or nowhere near it, because I want you to see the different orbs and how they're positioned. That's important. Okay. You see how that orb is right above that whole large orb cluster right below it, and there's other very large orbs that are just being smothered by the smaller ones. There's some more big ones right there on the side. Look at the size of that white one, how big that is. That's a huge orb. And then there's a big one over here that's green, and a black one right next to it. And then this one, okay, that's a 3-orb cluster, the one there lower. And on top, that's I gotta get closer. I can't see. Okay, that's it's a 3-orb cluster, and this one is a 3-orb cluster as well. So there's still huge orbs, and they're in a cluster, so that could be just like one entity right there, just made out of 3 large orbs, because they united together. This huge white one right there, that is a huge cluster of orbs right there. But that's a single orb cluster right there. And look at how fast it's spinning. You see the spin? It's all counterclockwise. They're all spinning counterclockwise. Look how fast that one is spinning. That creates a lot of energy, and that's going to light up that side of the orb cluster nucleus on the moon hologram very shortly. Watch, I'll leave it on it for a bit, and you'll see that it's getting brighter all around it. What it's doing is energizing all those little orbs around it, and then they'll get bright like this. Okay, so that's what happened over here, and now it's going to happen. It happened there, and now it's going to happen. Where is that orb? It's going to happen over here. Look, it got brighter already. You see, that didn't take very long. So they can charge up real fast when they need to or when they want to. Okay, so that's proof for that. Here's another big orb there, the green one. It's on top of that big orb cluster. And there's 1, 2, 3, there's 2 or 3 orbs right there, the big bunch. They're being all smothered. There's more big orbs right back here. There's 1, 2, 3 right there, and another one in the back. That's 4. And look at the size of these. These are huge. Look. 1, 2, 3, and then smaller orbs. And then the structure here looks totally different than last night. It was in a pyramid shape last night. Now I don't know what that is, but they sure know, and they know what they're doing. There's a black orb right there inside between those 2 things. They're green. That's a big black orb. There's a big green orb right there. And I want to show you something over here. I gotta get the right angle here. I'm not in the right position. Okay. Okay, right there. Okay, there's that green part. That's that red membrane. And you see the orbs. They're all trying to get in. And they're pushing that. You see how they're pushing the nucleus out of the way? That's because there's so many of them trying to get in. They're pushing the whole thing around, and they're shaping the shape. Okay, they're making this shape of what we see as our moon. But it's just these orbs trying to get into that nucleus to get charged up. And because there's a force field around the whole thing, they can't get in until they're allowed in, because the force field is selective and it won't let anything in until the orbs that are in already are charged. So the other ones on the outside have to wait, but while they're waiting, they're pushing their way in and trying to force their way in to the nucleus, because unless they get charged up, they'll wind up, dying, because it's either be charged up or expire, because once the energy is gone, then the orb is gone. The orbs have to have the energy. See all the big orbs? How many? These are all structures. They're not just, the whole thing is like a multi-dimensional structure, but nothing we're familiar with. And everything in it has a purpose, and it changes every single night. Every time I observe it, it's different. It's never been the same. There's always been changes and major changes. It's never ever been the same. I've never seen the same thing twice since I've been doing this. So that means that these organisms are intelligent. They can, make those changes intelligently. They can construct different structures, and they can utilize them for whatever purposes they want. And as you can see, There are no mountains in there. Okay. Oh, and big orbs like that, and little orbs like that. There are no mountains. There is no soil whatsoever. There are no rocks. There is no land or water. There is no sun reflection. This here is internal energy that's very hot. So hot that it's glowing bright white. And this red line there, if it would stand still long enough to show, that's a force field. And its job is to be acting like a permeable selective membrane to let orbs in and out as they need to be charged. It's a control mechanism. Okay, that's what our cells do. They do the same thing. But this is more than a cell. It's zillions of different actual organisms that are energy organisms, but they can also shape-shift and change energy into matter, and they can take on any shape, form, size, or color, or anything. They can be anything they want to be. And every night the whole thing looks different, and every night I don't know what I'm gonna see. So all of my videos are just live, right on the spot. I don't have a text. I don't make a script. I do nothing like that. I'm just observing and reporting on the facts. And the facts are that this whole thing is an illusion of a moon. It's a holographic representation in at least 3 dimensions, perhaps more. And it's done in an intelligent presentation, and a believable, presentable presentation and a representation of what we believe is real, and what we believe is a real terrestrial object. Yet this whole thing does not exist. There is no moon, and I mean that seriously. This is a holographic image created by living organisms, which are energy organisms we call orbs. It's a multi-dimensional image to give it, the right kind of feel and the right kind of look. But other than that, I mean, the whole thing is alive, and it can act and is acting as a single organism, yet every single orb there is a cluster, and every orb in each of the clusters can act as a single organism intelligently, because these organisms are highly intelligent, highly creative, and highly dangerous, because they have many things at their disposal, and they control energy. And this is the key point. They control energy, and they can control energy to the point where they can turn it into matter. I don't know if they can turn it into antimatter, but they can certainly turn it into matter, living or non-living. And they can create shapes of any size, any color, and, they can have them animated or not animated, depending if it's a living thing they created or if it's inanimate objects. So we cannot take these things for granted. But this has been a lie throughout the history of humankind, and everyone on this planet has fell for it. And in all the ages, hundreds of thousands of years that humans have been on this planet, everyone has always believed that this thing here, I'll go back and get that X. No, it's too far. I hadn't trouble getting the X. There it is. So for eons and eons and eons, hundreds of thousands of years, maybe even millions of years, I don't know how long humans have been on this planet, but since the first human could think, he thought this was a real, thing in the sky. And every human that ever lived thought that there really was a moon, and that it was real, a real object in the sky, just like stars, and it was shiny, like you could see features. It was all an illusion. Okay, the moon, hologram. Okay, that's all it is. Okay, it's a hologram. It's just orbs. Okay, you see? Right there on the edge. It's just orbs. Everywhere. Everywhere. And it's orbs that can change their frequency to be higher, lower, nearly non-existent, then the thing will become invisible, or if it goes too high, it'll also be invisible. But orbs is just what they appear to look like. That's not the real image, or that's not the image they, have. At least not the ones I had. That I kept at home. I had a few dozen at home as an experiment that were here on Earth, and they don't look, around like that. Only when they're very active they can do that. When they actually stand still, they don't look like that at all. I've posted what they look like anyway. It's on my channel. I've posted many photos of orbs that I had. I posted photos of orbs out in space. I posted photos of orbs that were the sizes of stars. And there's a huge variety of orb photos that I posted on my channel. You just have to look for them if you're interested. Okay, I'm just moving the camera around, checking everything out. I'm not at maximum zoom or anything. I'm at a comfortable zoom rate where if it makes a jump, I can, at least follow it. I have everything loose so I can move in any direction, easy. Okay, see, now that's a jump. That was a jump that it made. So I gotta bring it back. It's making a lot of jumps. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna lock it. Show you. I'm gonna put it back a little bit. Okay. This should be a good enough range for showing the jumps. Okay, I got hands up the camera. We'll see if it's going to go steady or move. This is like nothing next to last night. I'm just going to get it closer so we can tell whether it's jumping or not. Okay, the activity seems to have calmed down because now we can see dark spots. Before it was all practically bright white. So this proves the point that when it's very active, it moves around a lot. Okay, I got hands on camera, remember? I'm not touching anything. See how it moves backwards? But I'm gonna play the other video, and then I have another one from like the 16th where it was very close to the Earth. And you can really see now. I gotta move the camera just so I get it in range, so it doesn't do that. Okay, let's see how it goes. It's supposed to be moving to the right. Okay, but what's happened lately is it's moving from south to north, rather than from east to west. Used to move from east to west across the sky. Now it's not doing that. It's moving from south to north, at least over here. It's moving right across Lake Ontario from the States to Toronto. I don't know what city's on the other side, but it's moving from whatever city's there, like that way, towards Toronto, straight. And that's south of me. So it's just barely moving west. So it's going northwest, but barely west. mostly north. So now I don't know why it went down like that. It certainly wasn't the camera. Okay, way back here, I hope you can hear me. I'm not on the camera at all. It's doing everything by itself. See how it can hold position for long periods of time? It shouldn't be, it shouldn't be able to do that or go in reverse or anything like that if it was a real object. I just moved it now to get it back in place. I gotta get a little more. A little more. Alright, move it back. Try to get the whole thing out. Compared to last night and the other night on the 16th, this is really calm. It's unbelievably calm. Check out that big orb there. Okay, I'm not on the camera, I'm not touching it. Okay, see, when you come close, you really get to see just how much movement it's making. You can't see that from far away. You have to be at least at, around 400x or something to check that stuff out. See the jumping? Okay, it's jumping backwards in reverse. Okay, so this cluster affects a lot of things on our planet, and they're also using our planet to breed more orbs. So, what would be the purpose of creating an illusion like that for all of these years? I mean, hundreds of thousands of years, or maybe even millions of years that man has been around. Even like apes would have noticed the sky and the moon and the sun at least, and the stars. And I don't know what they would believe, but they would at least notice them. So to have us believe that this is a real object and this is our moon, I can't understand the significance of that. But it's definitely alien in origin. The orbs are dark matter that's invisible form, and right now they're in dark energy invisible form. Okay, so they're in a visible form, in an energy state, and none of them are matter right now. This whole thing is an illusion. Not that they cannot be matter if they choose to be, but right now, and up there in the moon hologram and the orb cluster nucleus for the larger dark matter supporting cluster, this whole thing is just an illusion, and it's created by living organisms that are in a high energy state and a high vibrations frequency state, and they are creating a multi-dimensional illusion or an image of what we call the moon. And we believe that it's really there and that it's an object, but this is all wrong. This is just a hologram and an illusion, and it's not a tangible object. It may be tangible energy, but it is not a tangible object. Okay. It can be measured as energy. It can be photographed and filmed because it's an image and a three-dimensional hologram, but it cannot be stepped on because it's not solid. It's energy at the moment, and it's always been energy in that nucleus. Okay, and the cluster behind it is also all dark matter and dark energy. And I don't know the composition of dark matter, but for all I know, it could be antimatter. And the only way it can express itself in a visible form is in a form of energy. But once in the form of energy, then it, in visible energy, then it can transform into matter in the visible universe. something like that. And I don't know the entire process, how they go about doing that, but there's a correlation between the dark energy and dark matter and their transition to visible energy and visible matter in a three-dimensional state. So it's like an expression of the larger cluster behind this, or cluster nucleus of itself, and this is like a representation of itself. And so are the stars that we see, even our own star, the sun. But these are very highly intelligent and organized life forms, and they are all over, everywhere. They number in such quantities and numbers that it's unbelievable. You couldn't possibly count them. You couldn't even count them just on that cluster. Nucleus, let alone all throughout space, like over here. Let me just go closer. Okay, there's so many of them, and they are throughout the entire universe. There's just no end to the places they are. They're everywhere. And they are the things that are responsible for the existence of our universe, the visible universe, because they're the ones that created it, and they're the ones that maintain it. They're the ones responsible for all the stars, and stars are responsible for all the life in our visible universe. Because without stars, there wouldn't be a visible universe, and there wouldn't be any life. So since these things make stars, they're in charge. Okay, and they're gonna make that moon or cluster nucleus into a star. Look how great it is. Okay, that's a sign right there. It's not a sun reflection. This is real internal source of light. And the cluster's getting larger, more crowded, and more, it's packing more energy. So the outcome will be that it has to expand. It can no longer remain the size that it is any longer. It has to become larger and be able to take in more orbs, because the population of orbs is exponentially expanding, since they have to multiply at such a high rate in order to expand the universe, both the visible and the invisible universe, because dark matter is always expanding, and that is the basis of both the visible and the invisible universe, since the visible universe depends on the invisible universe for its very existence, meaning the light energy and visible matter depend on dark energy and dark matter. And these orbs for their very existence, and so does all life anywhere in the universe. So that's about it for tonight. And I don't know what this thing is. If you can figure out what this thing is, write it down. It's a structure for sure, but I can't, don't really get what it does. Last night it was a pyramid made out of orbs. Tonight it's this. Tomorrow night it'll be something else. This thing is constantly changing, and there are always new orbs of all sizes, inside and on the edges of the hologram. So that's it. If you know what this is, put in a comment. Thank you for watching, and have a great night. I did my 56 minutes and 35 seconds. Good night.